After you know these 5 crazy truths about beautiful women, it will radically change your beliefs about them. Especially the last principle that we'll share with you will actually make gorgeous women that you currently think are out of your league a lot more attainable. Number 5 is the halo effect. The halo effect occurs when a person's impression of someone influences their feelings and thoughts about that person. For example, if someone thinks a person is smart, they may also think the person is nice.
And a lot of guys do this when they see a gorgeous woman, a gorgeous girl. They'll see her, they'll take her in, and they'll think that just because she's stunning, she's perfect, she has no flaws.
Right, and when you think she's flawless, you put her on a pedestal, but you have to remember she's just like you and me. She has fears, she has embarrassing moments, she probably has a lot of things she's insecure about.
And that is something that tends to shock guys, is one thing that you really need to know about good-looking people and gorgeous women is that they have insecurities just like everyone else, but they tend to actually be more insecure about their looks. Every month or so, we hold boot camps, and when I do my boot camps, I have stunning models, stunning girls that come out and help, and they do the model work. Sometimes I like to ask the models in front of all of our students, I say, who's ever felt insecure about their looks? The interesting thing is the hottest ones, the most good looking of the models are the ones that tend to be the most insecure. And this just blows guys' minds. It's crazy. But if you think about it, it makes sense, right? If someone tells you, let's just say even from an early age, that you're good at something or you're good looking, and they keep kind of filling your head with this is going to be the number one thing that's on your mind. It's going to be the number one thing that you are aware of and conscious of, especially when we go into teenage years, when someone might tell you something over and over again, and everyone's telling you the same thing, but you just don't feel it inside. But there's so much pressure to not perform, but to have that trait that everyone's commenting on, to have that lead. You're going to start to become overly aware of it. And so, of course, when we're overly aware, or if that's the one thing that everyone keeps on telling us, we're going to start to feel insecure about it.
Yeah, you would naturally associate your value with that trait. So beautiful women oftentimes see a lot of their value in their looks, and they know that their looks are fading over time. And they look in the mirror sometimes and they don't feel beautiful, or they see a pimple and they freak out because they associate so much value with their look.
And they get obsessive over how they come across, what pics, what photos are taken, are they flattering? It just becomes something that is top of mind, and you're right. And if that's the number one trait that you have going for you, then when the looks start to fade and the looks start to slip, you're going to freak out. It's going to completely rock your foundation, which is why it's so dangerous to bank your profession on your looks.
Yeah, I've even noticed, like, I've had friends in the past that were not necessarily good looking. One was slightly overweight, and she was very secure about her looks. And then I've also dated really attractive women, and I noticed a lot of times they're really insecure about their looks. You'd think it would be the opposite, but oftentimes that's just not the case. Beautiful women, very insecure about their looks. Number 4 is the beauty bias, which is the effect of men throwing themselves at her because she's so good looking. For example, they might catcall her. Or they might ask her out too quickly without knowing anything about her. They'll say, I'll take you anywhere you want to go. I'll take you on a trip, or I'll take you to the most expensive restaurant.
This is very close to the point that we just talked about, where they see a gorgeous woman and because of her looks, they think that she is XYZ. And this principle, what's happening is they are only seeing her looks. So they're only kind of seeing her as this thing, this object to attain, and they're trying so hard to impress her. They roll out the red carpet, or they say whatever it is that they think they can say to get her attention. And they're really treating her as something almost like an equation to, if I do A, B, and C, I'm going to get her to like me. And they're normally not really coming off as authentic. But the point of what this theory is just because she looks amazing doesn't mean that you have to start treating her or talking to her in a different way. Just like with celebrities, right? Celebrities always say that the thing that they want is just to be treated as normal. And the same thing with these gorgeous women, where these guys are just trying to either impress them, or sometimes if they're so gorgeous, the guys are getting so intimidated that the only thing they can do is catcall or say something, kind of mutter underneath their breath. But this is what these women are experiencing a lot under this effect.
Yeah, it's like the guys have no standards except for the looks. It's like, wow, she's gorgeous, so I'm 100% sold on her. My life would be so great if I had a girlfriend like that. You know, all my friends would be so impressed by me. They just want her without knowing anything about her, right? They throw themselves at her too quickly. It's like they're super impressed by her, end up not trusting men. Those type of women end up not trusting men because it just doesn't make sense to them. It's like, why does this guy want me so quickly when he doesn't even know me?
And think about it this way too, right? There is a type of hotness, right? There are women that are beautiful, and there are women that are hot, and there are women that are hot in a sense of just oozing lust and desire, right? Showing a lot of skin. And so think about the type of men that normally, and I'm going to say normally again as a generalization, normally feel the confidence to go up to them. Not everyday men, right? You need to really work on your courage and that skill to be able to talk to anyone. And most guys, unfortunately, don't. But think of the guys that have that naturally. They tend to be guys that veer on those, and here's the hot word, the narcissistic tendency traits. And so they tend to be the guys that are charmers, that are manipulators, that know how to say things in a way that's exciting and confident. And when these women that are beautiful are only really seeing those type of men come up to them, and these guys that are just charming the heck out of them, and then every single time they find that those guys tend to manipulate, lie, deceit, they tend to have many other women on the side that they're lying about, they tend to become really distrustful. So one is their experiences. Men that come and approach me tend to be either liars or narcissistic or whatnot. Or two is I don't even need to say anything and do anything. All of a sudden, all these men, when those type of men come up to me, they already want to take me out. They already want to wow me and wine and dine me. And they get used to that type of behavior. Almost seems like, why am I getting this sense of behavior? What do you want? Or what are you trying to get out of this?
Right, so they end up not trusting men because men are throwing themselves at them. So here's what you should do. For example, when I see a beautiful woman, there was one just the other day, she was shopping and I just walked up to her and I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was like, hey, I have to tell you something. You are absolutely gorgeous.
Excuse me, real quick. Hi.
Hi.
This is really crazy, but I just walked by you over there, and I just had to come say hi to you.
Oh, it's okay.
Hi.
Hi. Nice
I'm Matt.
to meet you.
Now, even though she probably hears that compliment a lot, it's what I felt. It's what I thought. So I said it and she lit up because I didn't just say the words like, oh my God, you're gorgeous. I said it in a way that she could feel it. Then after that, instead of just being like, wow, you're gorgeous, can I get your number? Which is like, I'm sold on you just because you're hot. That's my only standard. Instead, after I got her name and told her my name, I took a step back and I was like, well, I don't know anything about you yet. So I'm not, I don't know if we're gonna hang out or go on a date yet. But before I go, I wanna know something about you. What are you passionate about? It was something like that. And I could see her just like perk up when I said that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about you. Tell me one cool thing about you before I go.
If I could read her mind, it was like, oh my gosh, finally a guy with some standards. Finally a guy that wants to know more about me besides just my looks.
100%. That's so true. And I see normally guys do one of two things. Guys that kind of know like, oh, I don't want her to feel like I'm only interested in her looks. Then they do this pivotal mistake. They'll give her a compliment that's not about her looks, but it's also not genuine. And so they'll say, oh, I love your shoes or I love your purse, where they don't really care about her shoes or her purse. We want to also make sure that our viewers know it's okay to compliment her looks if that's the thing that's standing out and that's calling you towards her, but don't make it just about the looks. Yeah, exactly. So Matt, just like you did with that girl that you were approaching, you said, okay, cool. I'm attracted to you. That is really important, but that's not everything. That's not the entire process of attraction. I need to see what you're like. And it's so rare that guys actually do that they get to that stage, that step where they want to know her personality. They want to know what she's like. And when you get there, that's when a woman's like, wow, this guy has standards. He's got confidence. He actually wants to know what's beneath the surface too.
It's so different and so refreshing for a woman like that. Next is the validation principle. You need to watch out for women who aggressively seek validation from men. For example, women that post a lot of risque or sexy pictures on Instagram or social media, OnlyFans girls, they're constantly getting tons of attention and validation from men. Which, Lynn, what kind of effect does that have on a woman?
Bottom line, super unhealthy and super toxic. If she's used to posting all these photos and getting all this attention, that attention starts feeling really good to her. It's almost addicting. Right. But the thing is, it does not translate into real life. You can't go about your day thinking that you are deserving or are craving such attention that's not realistic. And if you are getting that type of attention, it's going to be mostly sexual. It's going to be very short-lived. You know, once the guy sees you in a certain light, then there are a million other women that are doing the same, and they're going to take it a step even further. It's super unhealthy for her psyche, for her self-esteem, for how she views herself in comparison with the world. It makes everything else in life, by the way, feel very unfulfilling. Right? Because if you're getting that high of the constant likes, the constant engagement, and then you go about your day and you're not getting that same kind of validation, that feels extremely defeating. It feels extremely deflating. And it's also going to completely ruin her relationships with her, not only her friends, but more specifically her romantic relationships, because no one can compete with that.
It's going to inflate her ego so that she just sees herself as like so amazing, and look at all these guys want me. I'm so amazing. I'm so amazing. If she's in a relationship with a man, no man can live up to that. I mean, no man's going to be good enough for a woman with that type of inflated ego.
Essentially, she's having a relationship with her phone or her computer or whatever device she's doing. Again, that's going to be short-lived, because once she becomes yesterday's news, or once her beauty or that appeal starts fading, then life is going to be very, very difficult to tolerate.
Yeah, I can only imagine how bitter or sour a woman like that would become once all that validation goes away.
Especially the women that are, let's say, OnlyFans, they're making so much money. But unless they're being very, very smart with their money, they're investing in something else, or they have long-term plans with what to do with that money, then that money is going to come and go. And they haven't used this time in their 20s, or let's say 30s, to build the skills they need to be independent and financially successful for the rest of their life. And so they're really placing themselves in a terrible position.
Number 2 is the Craigslist phenomenon. A while back, there was a study done where a group of researchers put an ad on Craigslist for a software engineer with a salary of $40,000. And it was around, I think 80, 90 people applied, something like that. Then they put the same exact ad out with the same title, same description, everything, except the salary was now $150,000, and only 2 people applied. Everything else was the same, except the salary went way up. You would think they would get 4 times, 5 times the amount of people applying, but no, it went way down. Only 2 people applied. And the reason is, when they see such a high salary, they view themselves as lower worth. They don't see themselves as worthy or as skillful enough to apply for a job at that level. And the same is true when a guy sees a really beautiful woman. He sees himself as not good enough or not worthy enough for a woman of that caliber.
Yeah, it's almost like they see themselves as unqualified, and they think, oh, she's out of my league, or I'm not qualified to even go talk to her. Same concept.
So they don't even apply for the job, or they don't even go approach that beautiful woman.
And the funny thing is that our clients, our students, they always assume that the gorgeous women get approached all the time, nonstop. Right. And what you're learning is, normally the more beautiful she is, or the hotter she is, the less often she gets approached, especially like we're talking about approach the right way. Approach where a guy can see past her looks and wants to get to know what she's like. Catcalling doesn't require any confidence. You're just doing something really quickly, putting it out there, saying you're hot, or whatever it is the comment is, then you drive off or walk away. That's not confident. That's not how anybody would want to get approached. The ones that are super gorgeous, the guys just don't even go there. The hotter she is, the less she gets approached in the way that she loves getting approached.
And I've noticed when I approach an attractive woman, but she's not like the hottest woman ever, she likes it and it goes really well, typically, most of the time. But when I approach that rare woman that you only see every so often, like she is drop dead gorgeous, she usually lights up the most. She loves that compliment and that confidence. The fact that I approached her, she loves it more than, the less attractive women. For sure. On that same note, a lot of guys will think you can't compliment her on her looks. In fact, a lot of pickup advice says that, like, never compliment a woman on her looks. That gives your power away, which is so not true. Women absolutely love it when you do it in a powerful way, a confident way, a way that just gives her that butterfly feeling when you're in your mojo and turn on energy in a way that, she just absolutely loves.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Even if she has heard that compliment over and over again, maybe she has been told that she's beautiful by her family and her friends and her photographers and all that, but when you say it, you're saying it from your body. She feels that energy. You're not just saying, wow, you're beautiful. You're saying, you are absolutely beautiful. I had to meet you. Hi. Something like that. Like she will just light up, and she will feel your intentions, and she will feel that you have good intentions, that you're not just there to, use her or objectify her. You're there because you think she's gorgeous, but you want to find out who she really is, because you're not even sure that you want to go on a date with her yet. When she feels that combination, that you're attracted to her, yet you want to know more about her, that will usually get her very interested in you very quickly.
Think about it. Women spend a lot of time and money on their looks, a ton, where they want to get dolled up, and they're generally not getting dolled up if they're not leaving the house. So I don't care what women are saying, they're not doing it for themselves. Maybe they're doing it for themselves when going out because they feel better about themselves, but they're definitely doing it because there's a positive reinforcement there, right? They're getting done up so that they can look great, and they love to get recognized for that in a way that is authentic and genuine, and where you are seeing that, but you want to know what else is there, what's beside that. So don't go and, compliment her about something random. I was shopping the other day, and some guy came up to me, and he told me that my hair smelled awesome, and I'm not sure how he could smell it because he wasn't that close to me, but I said, thank you. And then he went about asking me what type of shampoo I was using and where to find the shampoo.
No.
And I knew that he was attracted to me, or at least trying to start that conversation. But the thing is, he was bald. So obviously he wasn't looking for a shampoo for himself, but I think he's been so brainwashed as to not be offensive and try to give a woman a compliment on her looks, that he was trying to find anything else to kind of start the conversation and compliment me on. And it just comes off as very inauthentic. It comes off as, why are you being secure? If you like the way I look, let me know, but then start a conversation with me and see if there's anything else we have going on over here.
And finally, we have the kindness principle. Studies show that for very attractive women, they rate kindness as one of the most attractive qualities in men.
This is absolutely true. Now, before we hear a lot from our viewers as, no way girls are attracted to guys that are tall with abs and have great looks.
Boys.
Yeah, the bad boys. There is actually some validity to that, right? So normally when she's very young, just starting to date, let's say late teens, early 20s, the guys that do come off really confident, that have that look like they're the bad boys, that tend to have more of those traditional looks, women will gravitate towards them even more. But they also tend to be the guys that seem to have more confidence. Not always, not just the looks, it's that the looks are correlated with the confidence and that type of energy that attracts them. But as a woman gets older, if they keep just choosing the looks or choosing the guys that have a lot of vibrato and have a lot of that, almost that arrogant feel, their experience teaches them that those guys are not the best guys to get into relationships with. And so it's really interesting, and there are actually studies by Dr. David West done on this. It's really interesting as a woman is really looking to pick a great partner, the things she finds attractive actually changes within her. Like you'll see some women where if they see a really good looking guy, they don't want anything to do with him. They're nervous he's going to be a player, and they don't find him that attractive anymore. And so kindness really comes up to the ranks. Kindness is a trait that women really value. And when we say kindness, I'm not talking about the nice guy, I'm going to say in quotes, meaning that fake kindness, the kindness of someone just trying to do good things in order to get validation or approval. I'm talking about someone who's genuinely kind, someone who is going to be a good partner, who's going to be trustworthy, who's going to really put their partner as a priority for them. That for women, especially when that paired with competence and confidence and just a sense of fantastic well-being, well-adjusted, that is like catnip to a woman. That is far more attractive than a guy that just has his looks going from him. It's ranked on top of the list.
It's ranked even higher than looks?
It's ranked even higher than looks, absolutely.
Yeah, it makes sense because unlike men who value looks very high on the totem pole, women tend to focus more on non-physical characteristics, how you make them feel, how much confidence you have, how much charisma you have, how much masculine energy that you have. Here's the thing, if you want to embody those characteristics that the most attractive women, I'm talking about models, not OnlyFans models, stay away from those, but gorgeous model-looking women find attractive, if you want to embody that and be the kind of man that can walk into a room and see the most attractive woman in there, confidently walk up to her, spark attraction, and get her contact information or go on an instant date with her right then and there and eventually lead things all the way to a relationship, then make sure to book a call with us and we'll see if you're a good fit for our coaching program. So if you want to get coaching from not only Lynn and myself, but our entire team of coaches and trained models, then again, make sure to click the link down below, book a call with us, and we'll see if coaching is a good fit for you.